Let's turn our attention to the KIC Agritech Challenge. We've been talking to the challengers, 11 of them in this competition. The good thing really is not about the package that you get in the end, which is a lot of money, by the way, which is life transforming. But what it is the innovations that they're bringing to the agricultural sector, and Cosmos Innovation Center is spearheading all of these. Most of the challenges in this particular challenge would otherwise be doing something else. Some people didn't have jobs, some had jobs that they were not satisfied with, some were simply just around and then they saw the challenge, and it is life-changing. After the challenge, even if you don't win the ultimate prize, you still have something worthy that you've developed, you've built, that you can go ahead and make something of. So we have 2 of them in the studio again today. The finals will be on Tuesday. Roland will have that interaction with them. You have to stay and listen. They'll tell you about where they've come from. They'll tell you about what they have created, which is solving a problem. And hopefully that would inspire you as well. So first, let's watch the innovations, what they've created, after which we'll have that interaction.
We have come out a technology that will solve the farmers in Ghana problems, such as many farmers in this country are not able to farm all year round. So we have developed an automated solar-powered drip irrigation system, including sprinkler, to aid farmers to farm all year round. And this system is using artificial intelligence to operate. A farmer doesn't need to be in the field for the crops to be irrigated or get water. The system is such a way that it uses soil sensors. So when the soil sensor picks the value from the soil and it tells you what we have programmed in microcontroller, it automatically triggers the pump to irrigate the land. So when the soil is saturated with water to the actual requirement, the pump trigger off itself. This prototype has been tested for 3 years now, and it's based in Kipu's University Farms, and it's working very well as of now.
Tomato is a highly perishable vegetable. The only way to extend its shelf life is through processing and canning. Without ready markets, tomato farmers lose huge profits. They either sell tomatoes to middlemen and give away prices or lose everything.
My tomatoes deteriorate by the day, and I have to go through the pain of sorting them daily.
A group of young graduates competing in the Cosmos Innovation Center Challenge have an organic solution to extend the shelf life of tomatoes. They have produced a liquefied solution from an animal extract which could slow down the perishability of tomatoes. The tomatoes are either sprayed or dipped in the solution and allowed to air dry for a couple of minutes.
Our product is Shelf Life Pro. Shelf Life Pro is made from an organic formulation of organic sugars, which are very edible, which have minimal side effects, and which is usually done on other fruits and vegetables, but in Ghana this is the first time we are introducing it in Ghana. When you get your tomatoes either from the farm gate or from the market, first you need to wash, because it might have been contaminated along the way. You might have some microbes around it, so you wash it to keep it clean. So here we go through the washing process. That's why it's important to put on the gloves, so that you also don't add whatever microbes you have on your fingers. After washing it thoroughly, you pick them out and strain to allow the excess water to drain. Afterwards, you can either do by dipping. Dipping means whatever tomatoes you've collected into the basket, you pour some of the solution we have here into a very clean bowl in a sizable quantity that would help you coat the tomatoes. Then you slowly dip. As you dip, you realize that the tomatoes are at a certain size, so you just be turning your basket so that the solution covers the entire surface of the tomatoes. Once that is done, you have another basket, which is our drying basket. Then you transfer the coated tomatoes into the drying basket, allow it to air dry. Once it is air dried, you can keep it in an open space for as long as 21 days.
The team, dubbed Eat Fresh, believes their product extends the shelf life of tomatoes to at least 15 days after application.
What our solution does is once you coat it with onto your tomatoes, it allows it to stay more than 4 times the normal lifespan of the tomatoes on the shelves. So if you buy from the open market, when we did our trials from the open market, the tomatoes lasted after coating 12 days extra. The ones that were not coated lasted only 4 days after we bought it. But after applying it, it lasted 12 days. But for the ones that we are going to coat from the farm, it could last up to 21 days.
So we subjected some of them to the Shelf Life Pro coating, and the others were left as control. Interestingly, we observed on the 3rd day that the ones that were not coated had started spoiling.
Eat Fresh says this innovation will put smiles on the faces of tomato farmers, traders and consumers. Henry Kwesi Bedu's reports for Joy News.
And you just saw that beautiful innovation there, and innovation using artificial intelligence. And it's what the KIC Challenge brings you, and we bring in to you all that the final is a Tuesday, and I tell you, it promises to behold an exciting period where young people are using technology to innovate, to improve agriculture and its value chain. I love this. As old as I am, I would want to start afresh, and I think that these young men I'm about to interact with will be the best resource persons to introduce me into the field of agriculture and using artificial intelligence or technology to improve all that. I have the Chief Operating Officer for Farm Class here, and Emmanuel Boro is here. There was also a team lead as well, and he was in the video, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you for joining me, Emmanuel.
Thank you for having me.
Then I also have Prince Aquaroxon. He's also the team lead for Eat Fresh, and they were using the sprays, all that, to keep non-perishable fruits or food as we have it, the food stuff, the farm produce. So thank you for joining me as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so how innovative has it been for you? Let me start with you, Emmanuel. This whole experience, I have to say.
It's been a great opportunity that KIC gives you the chance to be able to identify gaps in the market and come out with a marketable bridge to cover that gap.
Okay.
Yeah. And this has led us to come out with this technology, which we call the KIC irrigation system. KIC irrigation system. KIC irrigation. Yes. Okay. Irrigation system, which is meant to help farmers cultivate crops all year round.
What I wanted to understand was the sensor bit, because I saw pipes in there, so I was wondering, where did you affix the sensors?
They are in the soil, and that picks the data and feeds it into our...
The sensors, did you put them together yourself, or you bought a ready-made product?
Yeah, we bought the sensors.
The ready-made product?
Yes,
okay. Small
yes.
Dimensions?
Yes.
Okay.
And we fixed it in the soil.
Originally coming from where, China?
It depends on...
Okay, but you just saw some in the market, the Ghanaian market, or you bought it outside?
Some of we can sometimes we source it locally, but they are outside too.
Okay, we'll come back to that. And you too, Eat Fresh.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes we have a lot of ideas, but we don't know where to start from, where to go to another thing. So we saw this Agritech Challenge as an opportunity for us to build something. And so let's say for the past year, we've been building on something, and this time we know that it is very, very solid. And we are.
How did you come up with the idea? Was the idea before the Agritech Challenge, or you had it in mind, or you were experimenting with others before you entered the Agritech Challenge?
All right. Okay. From my background, I studied molecular biology and biotechnology.
What's that?
Okay, biotechnology. We use human biological systems, whether animal, plants, anything.
So you can work in the laboratory.
We can work in the laboratory. Okay. Yes, please. So we use human organic systems to benefit mankind, as in whatever you want to. So instead of us relying on chemicals, we rather prefer using natural and organic things to solve problems of human beings. That's how come we came by this Shelf Life Pro, which is organic, no chemical, no preservative.
So I believe this is edible.
Edible, right? Very edible.
Can I taste it?
You can taste it.
Oh, so you how long did it take you to develop this?
Okay, we first did the prototype. I did the prototype and it worked, but then we tried it again and it didn't work. So we had to go and see the Food Research Institute, and they helped us develop it.
They helped you develop. So it's made from what? What exactly?
Okay, this is made from carbohydrates.
What, banku or corn or?
We took, okay, basically sugars. So we took sugar from.
It has a certain sour taste.
Exactly. We took the sugars from different components. So we took some from plants, we took some from animals, then we combined them to come out.
And we're not talking normal sugars. This has to go through some scientific process, right?
Sugar is sugar. Basically, carbohydrates.
Yes, so how did you extract to get the sugar? That's what I mean.
Okay, the extraction process is very, very difficult and capital intensive. So we had to source them from the local market. So we get this, then we put them together to form this.
Okay, so this is not organic sugars.
They are all organic.
Organic. Okay, so for you, I was wondering how you can mass produce what you did. Let's say, because that one is a small, maybe 1 acre or just a plot, so to speak. So how can you mass produce it?
To mass produce this, we've already started training people who will help, because we are already predicting that.
Because I'm thinking of, let's say, a 10-acre farm. That would be for just
it doesn't, one system, we can build one system that can take even up to 50 acres.
50 acres?
Yes.
At what cost?
It depends on a lot of factors, and we have to go to the field and do some survey and do some calculations. All these coming to, so I can't give you.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Even if you don't win on Tuesday, how hopeful are you? How energized are you that what you've done and the training you've gone through with Agritech has really prepared you?
Okay, we are very, very confident. Because we've had contacts from the market, and we've also been doing some advertisement online and other. We've met some people too, and they have given us the confidence that it's a need, not just a want. So people really need this, especially the market women, the farmers, the aggregators.
There's a market for it.
Yes.
So you can penetrate.
We can penetrate.
There's always the need to do the market penetration in such a way that you need off-takers. And in Africa, governments tend to play a critical role. And we've seen just the growth figures of agriculture have been tremendous since 2017, especially since the current government took office. So it seems to be the focus there. They have the planting for food and jobs and all that. So if you want to do that collaboration, it means you need to move in with the government institutions. Do you have that in mind, even after the Agritech Challenge?
In fact, we are working with some NGOs so that we can collaborate and roll out this to a lot of farmers, a lot more farmers, because there's the market. In fact, we are in business because people we have installed one in KD for a cocoa farm. In fact, our system is flexible it's not only for vegetables or just crops. It can be for plantations as well. And we are in business.
Well, so after Tuesday, how hopeful are you for the well? Because I'm sure this is not only going to be the only innovation you do. But
just as I mentioned earlier, we've had contact from some NGOs, and some individuals, other companies and other things. Interestingly too, we've also had contacts with people from even outside the country because of what we are doing. When they got to hear about this, it looks so unreal, but then we've proven to them, we've given some of them samples to try, and they've realized it's
this is good. This is good. That can be replicated. I agree with you. And you, how hopeful are you after Tuesday?
After Tuesday, we are already in business, and the road seems to be going well, so we just need to push on.
Push on. Yeah, yes. I love that. How many of you are a team of?
3. We are
4. A team of 4. Okay, so we've been speaking to 2 of the contestants from, well, 2 of the members of 2 contesting teams. And they have some products and innovations they would also be putting on display as part of the KIC Agritech Challenge. And we have Prince Aquaroxon, who is a team lead for Eat Fresh. And thank you for joining me, Prince.
Thank you.
Okay. And then also Emmanuel Boro is the Chief Operating Officer for Farm Class. And thank you very much as well. Yeah, great innovation there.